Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild and I'm here with another update from the building site of the Citadel. The record for no injuries was today broken by one idiot running into a thruster. We had a death on the construction site, but that didn't keep us from continuing to build this thing. I can just give you updates. There's nothing else I can do. Building it is hard for me because the blocks are just too big. I'm happy with them and all that stuff, but building this whole thing out of the big blocks is kind of crazy because you cannot bring in details. It's not possible. I'm trying to, to make it as neat as possible, but I don't know. It's taking a long time, and I have to keep keep me sane by having to sometimes go to the big ship, do some work on there. I have added some more thrusters on it and all that stuff. We can take a look at that in a second. So what we have here is I got some requests how to build this thing, and I will not build it that way because again I'm not planning it completely. And give me a sec. Martin Mellon came in and had some requests. I should build a vehicle hangar on the bottom floor, observation floors, then 2-floor high airspace vehicle hangar, and it will not happen that way. What I'm doing is right now I'm building an entrance, basically. So this will be, the walk-in way. It needs to be big and impressive, and it needs to be high, and everybody needs to come in here and say, "Wow!" That's the reaction that I definitely want of that. This in the middle is basically the spine of the whole thing. I want to have all the necessary lines to run this whole thing basically sit in there. And I built, by the way, one of these staircases here on the side. They are not a good thing to go up and down there. So back to this is the line that connects all the floors, basically brings wares to everything, and also there are the built-in repair systems in there. Zilch had the idea to build a space elevator, and that will not happen. I don't plan to build something that big just to have it basically take down the FPS and all that stuff. And again, it was done by other people, and it's a completely unnecessary thing in Space Engineers. That's the next thing. I'm trying to build survival projects that help me out. This one is the whole thing here is a bit of an exception to that because it doesn't help me out. It's just a big unnecessary project, kind of. But for me, the space elevator I wanted to use it on the moon ages ago, and there it didn't work out because the game was not optimized yet, and it basically brought down the whole game for me. It didn't work out. Here I could build it. I think my machine could handle it, but on the other hand, it is not really necessary. I have ships now that can bring everything into space that I want to have there, and it's just a project that would bring down the whole world, kind of. And a space elevator is not a good idea for me here, at least. The other thing that came up were elevator ideas for the citadel itself. I know that there are a lot of someone said it now. I have lost the name, but someone said it, that there are elevator mods out there, and I know that there are elevator mods out there. I've for the longest time used VZZ's elevators, and I might go back to them. I'm not sure yet. The next thing that came up was a mechanical elevator. With the height of this thing, having a mechanical elevator, so one that uses rotors that push up and all that stuff, the size of the elevator itself would be so big that basically the whole thing would take up an enormous amount of space just to don't know, go up one deck or one story of this thing here. And I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I don't want to build an elevator. I want to build a citadel, a nice living space. That's living space. It is not a living space, but yeah, again, building this thing just to showcase a big elevator that works with rotors, I'm not sure. Even one with pistons, would be a really, really big thing that needs a lot of space in the ground to work for just, I think, for just one floor. So we could measure that. So for a piston goes up, I think, 10 meters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A piston would reach to somewhere here, but I think it only reaches to somewhere there if. Let us set up a piston. We did that the last time too. That we have set up the. When we have set up the. So the piston itself is 2 blocks high. I think, yes. 2 blocks. And then it goes up. Does it go up 4? Let us see. What did I want to do? I wanted to grab a block, a measuring block. So, and now this one goes out to 10 meters. So I saw a design. Someone did some. By the way, there was a pretty nice thing that I saw on the Reddit. Someone built a fist on a lot of pistons that comes out and punches ships. It was a really, really, really nice design. The cool thing with it is that, for example, we could try to use the pistons that were in there to make an elevator with it, in a similar way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 blocks. So we would need at least. We can test that. Let me take a look. We need. Okay, how was it done there? So I could use a piston. It wasn't done that way, but in a similar fashion. So I think he did something. She did something where the pistons were actually when they were in the ground, so they were basically all the same height, and that's one thing I would like to achieve here too. I think we would need some. Could we go with Blastor blocks there? I need to figure that out, but so we would need, if we achieve that, if we get the piston head at the same height as this head, then we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3 pistons, plus we would need one more to bridge this gap. So we would need 4 pistons to just reach this height. And that is crazy. That is just for one floor. So making a piston elevator, for example, that would use that would go up even higher than this. By the way, I'm always my finely constructed idea how I want to structure this always breaks as soon as I start to test stuff. So up there is the hangar. I don't have a vehicle hangar or something like that. I have the place in front of the whole thing. I can store cars or rovers down there, and I don't want to build too many rovers, so they can just stay down there. For big ships, I don't need anything. I have this space. I just need a small hangar up top, and that will be there, that holds air cars or something like that. The small green ship there, for example, it could go in there. It could house the drill. We will see. Just to have a good way to get into the citadel, because up top I want to have a few blocks above that. I want to have a living space, command center, something like that. And the one suggestion that Martin Mellon made is make a big satellite dish on top. I don't know if I want to make it on top, but I will incorporate a big satellite dish somewhere. That is a neat idea. Now the question is, should I build it or should I grab one from the workshop? Yeah, or should I grab one from the workshop? Sorry, I have to make cuts in between sometimes. Today is a weird day. I'm still sick. I said that on my Discord that I'm sick, and it didn't get better. My wife brought something home that now caught me. She was sick not the whole week, but the week, and I think it's getting me now. So yeah, and above that again, control center, and then maybe a bit of more decoration. I don't want to make it too crazy big, because this is just a resource dump. I can just dump in resources here and more and more and more for, let's say it that way, not a lot of outcome in the end. So it's, yeah. We will have to see how this whole works out then in the end. it's a thing where I'm at the moment just building for the sheer don't know, want to build something. I'm holding a bit back at the moment. Keen announced the major update, or announced that the major update will be announced or brought out in a stream in the next few days. In a stream in the next few days. And I'm holding a bit off to see what is in there. The next major update could change a lot, and so we might want to at least hold back a bit, so that if the changes are crazy big, I'm not doing stuff that might not be necessary anymore. If we need to, don't know, start over with the world or something like that, I would be heartbroken, and all that stuff. Now, I hope they don't do that to me, but it could all happen, and so I'm building this to have a bit of time to then see what the new stuff brings us. The new stuff may be game-changing, and then we might need to incorporate that into the builds that we have here. If there is, for example, new energy sources, or there is, I don't know, suddenly this whole lake here is water, then I'm nicked in the butt, because it will not happen, but it might. We don't know. So building this is a bit of a relief for me to build, and it gives me a bit of time to see what comes in the new update. So back to the elevator ideas. I don't know how to fix that right now, but making a big elevator just to get up this floor would be crazy, and then there is another floor on top of that. So I might have to go for modded elevators. This thing is you can let us go up it. It works, but going up a staircase is just, see that it's not beautiful, and it makes me sick. I don't feel so well. That's why I'm making the mistakes of running into thrusters. I need to plan things like the beginning out a bit better. And by the way, thanks for all the nice words when it comes to finding new games. I have the games I want to play. The problem that I have right now is that yesterday I wanted to record, and it was not possible. I felt not really well, and so yesterday I had to basically take a sick day off, and now I need to go into it. Again, I have the plan to record a bit of a mature game, and I asked around if I should make maybe make something in the beginning to show that it is a game for a more mature audience, and I think I will do that. People were pretty clear about that should happen, and I think it's the right thing to do. I'm holding off from age age gating. Is it that? No, it's from setting it to mature content, so only a certain age group can go and take a look at that. I'm holding off from that because the game is not so bad that I think it would be considered for mature audiences. I'm not sure, but I know that my audience, again, there are people watching my content with their kids, and I want to warn basically these people, so that they might decide not to watch it with their kids or so. And that's why I thought about that. Putting the mature audience there. There's people out there that are not subscribed to me and are of age, so they might want to watch that without logging in. And on the other hand, I have to trust the parents that they take a look at what their kids are watching, and if they don't, not sure, don't know. Yeah, I will give a warning basically for my audience, because my audience, or the people subscribe to me. Again, I know that there are people that watch this stuff with their kids. So again, I will not put a mature audience on there so that only people that are logged in can watch it, but I also want to warn the people watching. It's hope that works out. Then people suggested I should play Subnautica, and Subnautica is out now. So not out now, but I will not play it on the channel. I found that the way I like to play Subnautica really doesn't suit the way Subnautica needs to be played, and there are other YouTubers that are playing it, and I don't want to come off as someone that just plays it because others play it now. So it's a weird thing. It's a head thing. Good. It's so sad that we don't have colored windows. I need to go on the workshop and see if there are colored windows in there or something like that. Would be neat if I could make, don't know, something into that and have a bit of color in the glass. I don't know. And I need somewhere a second window, maybe on the side. I could put some windows up there too. Maybe not these in that big fashion, but some window. That could be nice. That could be really nice. Have some. Oh yes, have some windows in here that. Yeah. That will work out hopefully. Okay. Yeah, people, you can see that I'm at the moment, again, it's hard to find content for you basically, because the only thing I'm doing is running from place to place, putting down some blocks whenever I feel the need, and once in a while restock the resources I have on me. And I'm doing that for the building, I'm doing that for the ship. Let us go over there for a sec just to see. It's not a lot. I've just put on more thrusters, and I've put on some blocks on the sides to give it a bit more depth, a bit more form. Oh yeah, and I've put some more thrusters on the front. I'm not sure yet how how that really works out. Why do I have... So, the... Oh, come on. Okay. So, that's a big thing at the moment, that I can't really... Because of the update coming in and because of me just building these things, I can't do a whole lot of stuff. You can see I just put some... That's just so the whole thing doesn't look so just like a flat surface there. I need to have something poke out a bit so it gets a bit of depth, and I might have to do that more. Again, the coloring thing will happen when I have finished the outside, and the going for a green, and again I will take a look at maybe an orange solution. I'm not sure yet, but that could be neat. That will happen when I think the ship is done, and I will try to finish this. Good. Yeah, more braking thrusters on the front, so that thing can stop a bit faster in space, and the rest, again, you can see on the other side I have done the same to, again, give it a bit more depth. People. This is... this is... I can't do a whole lot at the moment. It's sorry to say that, but I'm struggling right now with this build because there's no... I could only make it an engineering challenge if I would put in a big elevator, but then it would fail or it would not do what I basically wanted to do. And at the moment I can just design things with it, with the building, and it's it's a challenge. I hope that in the next week I'm also not sick anymore, so that that might help too. I'm planning at the moment out the solar farm. I will do some work there, and maybe we can get that done for the next week, and or not done for the next week, but start that. I want to remove this area because it's really not necessary anymore. We need to close this area. There is still work to do, but most of it is just work with putting blocks together. And maybe if I have time or so, maybe we could do a bit of streaming or something like that, and then at least maybe I don't know yet. We will have to see. I will have to see how I feel. But I hope you like the progress and that you give me more ideas what else I could put in there. Maybe someone has a good idea for an elevator that will not end up being too big or something like that. Then I will definitely hear you out on that. The next thing I need to think about is, do I want to give this color? Do I want to keep it in gray? I'm not sure. It's yeah. And let us hope for the major update in the next few days. That would be great, because then we could see what's in there and what changes are done. If there are changes that really impact our game here, all of that would be nice to see. Okay, sorry for rambling again, people. yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Hope you liked it. If you did, again, then please leave a like on the video. Visit the description, take a look at that. There's links to Discord, Patreon, Twitter, and all that stuff. Yeah, and again, I hope to see you in the next video. See ya, guys.